cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, like on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from under the sun that we maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Last Look for UFC 318. We have Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this card. Kind of nervous. I'm going to be honest, kind of nervous. This is the most action I've ever had on a card since I've started tracking about six and a half years ago. So a little bit nervous today, but, looking forward to the card. A lot of spots sticking out. Can't wait to break it down one last time. I always like coming on here about an hour to 2 hours before the prelim start and kind of seeing what happened today, because, on fight day, as of recent, like the last couple months, the fight day line movement has been just ridiculous. Like there's been some wild line movement. So can't wait to break it all down, see where these lines have gone, and see if we can find any final spots for tonight. And yeah, it should be a very, very fun card. It's a very good card. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to pretty much every single fight. I mean, there's not a fight that I'm like, oh, I don't really care for this fight. Like I'm looking forward to all 14. And you don't see that often nowadays. So, yeah, looking forward to going through it one last time, talking with the chat before we do. So if you guys could, like, subscribe. Going to try to reach 30K subscribers by hopefully the end of the year. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I think 1.2K, 1.3K away, something like that. So a little bit of work to do, but I'm hoping to reach that goal. And, yeah, I say we hit up the chat, see how you guys are doing. A little bit of a later start time as usual for pay-per-views, which was actually a good thing for me today. I was at a family reunion today, so that was fun. But Steven, the first one in the building saying, Brady, isn't it about time for another stripper keg party? I don't. As far as I'm concerned, I've never had one of those. But if everything goes well and everything goes to planned tonight, maybe that could be a thing in the very near future, a stripper keg, because that sounds like a fun party. Sounds like a very fun party, but need the bets to come through tonight, and we'll talk about it, Steven. We got Klaus saying another Dr. Peener sponsored stream. A shout out Dr. Peener. Hopefully Dr. Peener checks in, but if not, it's understandable. Dr. Peener is a very busy doctor, traveling across the United States of America, handling Peener stuff. So yeah, shout out to Dr. Peener. We got Chris for the Love MMA. What is up, Chris? Hopefully you're doing well. Good to see you in here. Appreciate you. UFC picks and balances. Come on. Yes, we got my guy Forrest. Brady, Colton G and his goons. Heard you got UFC 319 tickets in Chicago, and they're waiting for you. Bring Uncle Weezy to diffuse the situation. Yeah, I'll be fine. I got Weezy there. I'm not worried about Colton G and his goons. We got Gabe with the $9.99. Appreciate you so much, Gabe. And if Jimmy Crute loses today, I'm going to need a few more of these guys. If Jimmy Crute drops the ball today, I'm going to need a couple more of these 9.99s. But hopefully Jimmy Crute fights smart and he gets the job done. But yeah, Gabe, appreciate you so much. It does mean a lot, my guy. Brady's on. Yeah, I was actually on time today, and as always as well. We got Vinny, let's go. We got Andy, good to see you. We got Uncle Weezy. What is up, Uncle Weezy? Saying, let's get this money tonight, everybody. Yeah, I have a lot of action on this card. I know Weezy has a lot of action on this card. Hopefully everything comes through, everything goes smoothly, and hopefully it's a good night. We got Jacob. What is up, Jacob? Good to see you in here. Jace as well. We got Klaus, Buster, Cherry. We got Vinny. We got Jay saying, let's go. Shout out Brady. Tom Brady. Time to swing dicks. I think, man, if you're a fan of, dick swinging, you're going to be a fan of this card. I mean, there's going to be some dick swinging in the Ferreira McVey fight. There's going to be some dick swinging in the Fugitt Dulatov fight. There's going to be some dick swinging in the Gautier Valentin fight. There's going to be some dick swinging in a lot of these fights. So I'm looking forward to the main event's going to be a dick swinging contest for 25 minutes. So I'm looking forward to it. We got Elijah One. Good to see you in here. Let's make some money. I agree. What is up, Eric? Good luck tonight. Good luck to you as well. War Marvin Vettori. I can't wait for that fight. You know, there's some bad blood between the two, and it kind of makes for a more exciting fight. It's time. The last dance. Yep. You know, bittersweet. The last dance. Last time we get to see Dustin Poirier in there, and yeah, what a fight to send him off. I mean, this is going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. Shout out to Derek Lewis and his sweaty balls. Yeah, they're hot. His balls are certainly hot nowadays, and he keeps taking those shorts off. Vettori Allen going the distance. I would lean towards it going the distance, but these two do really hate each other. And it wouldn't shock me if there was a finish. But yeah, I think, you know, more often than not, it does go the full 15 minutes. Appreciate you, Brian. Finally, a UFC card with 14 fights. Yep, this week we got 14. I think the next 2 weeks, we after this card, we have back to 12. But yeah, 14. As of now, all the fights have stayed on. So you're looking forward to a 14-fight card and a really good one at that. We got Justin Cash with a $2 dono. Appreciate you, Justin. He says, I see a lot of milkings today. And yeah, there will be some milkings. There will certainly be some milkings. You know, there's got to be. There'll be some milkings. There'll be some pipings. And I think there's going to be a lot of finishes tonight. That's for sure. See a lot of dogs. Yeah, I'm picking a couple dogs. I have a couple bets on a couple dogs. So hopefully some dogs come through. But there are a lot of big favorites. We got Barry McCockiner. What's up, Barry McCockiner? Good to see you in here. That inmate has got some udders. You're talking about Daniel Rodriguez. Yeah, Daniel Rodriguez might get milked. McVey, the Minnesotan, is upsetting the Little Hawk Brazilian. If you guys saw the face-offs, man, I mean, McVey looked like 2 weight classes above Bruno Ferreira. So we'll see if that size advantage helps him tonight. How many move fighters are we getting tonight? So I asked on X if anybody's heard from Jason Herzog. Is Herzog in Louisiana? And nobody really seems to know. But I did go to Herzog's Instagram, and on his Instagram story, he did post a story yesterday, 17 hours ago, that he was in Texas. So I'm hoping he didn't catch a flight to Louisiana today, you know, the day of, especially the day of. I mean, that usually you want it like a night's rest the night before. So hopefully Herzog's nowhere near Arizona. I don't want him, you know, anywhere near Louisiana. And hopefully we can get some violence. A stripper with that patty wig sounds awful. You mean the Liang Na wig? I mean, that's something we could work with. I was concerned that Paulo Costa would have dropped due to his seizures at the presser, either weight cut or drug related. Yeah, it looked cocaine related to me, but he made weight, which kind of surprised me. He made weight and he looked ready to go. So yeah, the fight will be happening. But I don't think I've ever seen anything like that at the press conference where he was tripping, man. He was tripping on something. Diamond Time, my favorite fighter ever. Heart says Dustin, but Brain says Max. It's a tough fight. It's a tough fight to call. I like both these guys a lot. It's a really tough fight to call. It's a fight I don't have a bet on tonight. I'm just going to sit back and watch it. Last time I had a party like that, I had to get a tetanus shot, and you will have to get tetanus shots having parties like that, especially if, you know, some of the strippers are dirty, and you got to get them tested. I mean, that's the key. You get them tested, and then you will have to you'll be able to avoid the tetanus shots and the gonorrhea, you know, all that. I heard Brady was like 6'10", so it'll be all right. Close. I'm like 6'3". Jimmy Crute is going to be the one to F it all up. Yeah, if somebody's going to F it all up, it would be Jimmy Crute. But is Herzog there? I don't think so. If somebody knows, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, he was in Texas as recent as last night. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Best of luck to you today. Let's get this bread. Let's get it. I become a member today after watching for years, Brady. Let's get that money tonight. What's up, Patrick? Appreciate you for joining. Does mean a lot. Hopefully we can go out there and kill it tonight. Have a ton of action tonight. We got Jonine. What is up? Good to see you. Pipe it up. If I hear the sentence on the recap show, I will cry. Back to the drum board. Well, hopefully I'm not going back to the drum board after tonight, but we'll see. We got Lil Poker Sound putting it on Marvelous Marvin. What? What? Christ is King. Flat Earth. What is up? Who's the biggest lock? Holland or Danny Gay? Dan Ige. It's Danny. Show some respect. Show some respect to Dan Ige, man. It's Holland. Holland's the bigger lock, 100%. Let's see. I hope there's some bullshit greasy overs. Maybe. We've seen it before, especially in the Spann Brzeski fight. We could see it. House of Pain, Michael. Good to see you, Michael. Best DK fantasy underdog. So I think Kyler Phillips, and I did like Paulo Costa up until he started tweaking, but Kyler Phillips, and we'll talk about the Phillips fight in a little bit. That Phillips line came down completely as I was expecting it to. 5 units on Jimmy Crute, get some help ready. Yeah, a lot of people unhappy with that bet. Did beat a lot of line movement, but line movement doesn't mean shit in betting MMA. So I got him at minus 238. He's now minus 350. So I'm not happy yet about beating line. I'm going to wait till Crute hopefully gets the win, and then once he gets the win, I will be happy. But a lot of people are really upset, calling me dumb and stuff on that bet. But we'll see who's dumb after hopefully Crute gets the win. What? Oh my gosh. I personally think Poirier won't retire, especially if he loses. I don't know. Maybe. You could be right. Imagine Herzog reffing the week after an early stoppage. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, they probably gave him like a week off because people are pissed at Herzog right now. Herzog was at Power Slap last night. Yeah, I saw he was at doing some Power Slap stuff. I'm also 6'3". I always imagine you being 5 feet 10 inches tall. I don't know why. No, I was 5'10" in like 6th grade. Do you think Johnson could KO Zellhuber? I don't think so. Johnson does have some power, but Zellhuber has just a phenomenal chin. So it kind of surprised me, especially at 39. And Cagliari or McVey in the winning lineup tonight. It wouldn't shock me if McVey was in the winning lineup, because if McVey's winning, it's going to be in the first 3 minutes. And if he's winning at 6,500 in the first 3 minutes, he will be optimal. Cagliari, I would be kind of surprised. But McVey, if he pulls off that upset, he's 100% the optimal line. So I definitely think McVey sprinkles are interesting. But I say we get into it, guys. We're going to check this line movement, see where these lines have went throughout the week, talk about these fights, see what you guys are liking. We're going to kick it off with the first fight on the card. And it's going to be Carly Judice going against Nicole Cagliari. And yeah, a lot of money's came in on Judice throughout the week. You can see it right there. You could get as good of a price as minus 210. And that was about 6 days ago. Now she is minus 410. So yeah, money coming in on Judice. A lot of people on Judice this week, which I do find interesting because, I mean, Judice was only minus 275 against that bum, Unesis Duben. And people were a lot of people were picking Duben in that fight, which I couldn't quite understand. But now Judice takes a step up in competition against Cagliari. Like, Cagliari, in my opinion, is a much better fighter than Unesis Duben. And now she's an even bigger favorite. So, yeah, I took a shot on the Judice KO prop. I was looking at Judice KO 2-3, but a lot of Judice's knockout wins do come in the first round. I think all of them do, actually. Maybe outside of one. Yeah, I think all of her first round, or all of her knockout wins come in the first round. But I do think it might be attritional here. Judice is going to be the hometown fighter. And what I like about Judice is she's just relentless. She's mean in there. She's landing over 12 significant strikes per minute. Cagliari is extremely hittable. I don't think Cagliari has the best gas tank. And I just think Judice is going to hit her in the face a lot in this fight. So, yeah, I think that Judice knockout is pretty live. And I did sprinkle it myself, but I think Judice should get it done. Cagliari might be able to get some takedowns early on, but even then, I'm not too sure that happens. So, yeah, Judice should win, but like most fighters on this card, she's a pretty big favorite to kick it off. But, yeah, that knockout prop is kind of sticking out around plus 350 still. I don't mind that. I think it's going to be very live. How can you say he has a great chin if it hasn't really been tested? Zellhuber, I mean, it has been tested quite a bit. Have you ever seen a Daniel Zellhuber fight? Daniel Zellhuber's chin's been tested. Did you watch the Esteban Ribovics fight? One of the best fights of last year, where it got tested a lot in that fight. His chin has been tested 100%. We got Blomdog. Happy fight day. Mr. By the Numbers, happy fight day to you as well. Blomdog, best of luck to you tonight. And yeah, he was doing some power. I think it was power slap that he was doing. So I'm just hoping he didn't catch a flight to Louisiana. If he did, if Herzog's reffing this card, it might be a rough night. Jack McVey will need to get some help after tonight. Maybe. You typically when fighters need to get some help, it's more so, because Jackson McVey, he's a huge dog. He's expected to get served, right? Like, say if Bruno Ferreira got served, he would probably need some help because he's expected to win. He's a minus 600 favorite. So, Jackson McVey's supposed to get brutally knocked out. Dana Ige by KO today. I like it. Power slam. What? No. I was just checking his story. Oh, I don't know. No. Was it? No. Is Herzog in Louisiana? Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's not good. Maybe he's just going to watch the fights if he's there. Oh, my God. We got Dr. Peener. What's up, Dr. Peener? What's up, hot man of the... That's weird, but yeah, what's up, Dr. Peener? It's true. It's dreadfully true. I don't like to hear that. So hopefully, because I have a lot of violence bets, hopefully Herzog's reffing like the Marvin Vettori fight. He can ref the main event. That's fine. He can ref the main event. I have a bet on the main event. Yeah. Can't have Herzog reffing a lot of these fights. Not good. Yeah, shout out Dr. Peener. We need guys on this planet like Dr. Peener. We need guys like that. Herb usually posts the assignment sheet on his Insta. We'll see. Yeah, he does do that. Has he done it yet? Has Herb done that yet? Let's see. Or does he do it like right before the fights? Let's see. Herb, nothing yet. But yeah, he does post that. So we'll see. Spann KO. Imagine Herzog. Yeah, if Herzog refs the Crute fight, Crute's gonna have to submit Prachnio. Herzog's gonna wake up Prachnio. Crute's gonna knock out Prachnio, and then Crute's gonna take Prachnio to decision, win by all three methods, like Zhang Wei Li did against what's her face. Brady, not gonna lie, you're looking cuter today. Do something with the hair. I have a hat on, man. I have a hat on. Wheezy, my kids get to eat because of your bet's suggestions. There you go. Glad your kids should be able to eat. You're a doctor. Esteban has wins over Cans and took Zellhuber to decision where he won. Johnson has KO Dustin. That was back in like 2012. Went rounds with Gaethje, Khabib, Nate Diaz, Cans compared to greats. Johnson has the better resume. You can't lie about that, man. Can't lie about that. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Bruno Ferreira going against Jackson McVey. Here, Bruno Ferreira minus 600. Jackson McVey is plus 425. So money's coming in on the over for some reason. I don't know why people like betting these overs and fights that are going to obviously finish. But you can get the under as good as like minus 195, minus 225. So I got a lot of CLV on this card, but this is the spot where I did get reverse CLV'd. I parlayed the under 1.5 rounds up and got reverse CLV'd on that. But I think this fight ends in the first round. I mean, Bruno Ferreira, all of his wins but one come under 1.5 rounds. Jackson McVey's not even seen like the third minute of a fight ever. So yeah, this fight's going to end very quickly. What I will note is, Bruno Ferreira looked very small up against Jackson McVey, and size isn't everything, but Jackson McVey is going to be a lot bigger. I wouldn't really lay minus 600 on Bruno Ferreira. I think that's a little wild. I do think he probably wins this fight by first round knockout, but I think somebody's getting served here. I'd be very surprised if this fight even left the first round. So yeah, under 1.5 rounds in a parlay for me. but people are liking them and over. And in my opinion, there's just no logical explanation on why that should be a bet ever. But it is a big number for 7.5 minutes. But these guys aren't over fighters. Both of them aren't. So maybe there's some clinching and all that, but I think it's going to be a car crash. So I'm liking violence here. I like the under 1.5, and it is a pretty playable number here. And I think Jackson McVey is somewhat live. Like, Jackson McVey does have power, does have an opportunistic submission game. And I'm kind of pissed. Like, I was going to be all in on Jackson McVey against Cedricus Dumas, the guy that trained in a dog crate. But this is a much tougher test than Dumas is. That's for sure. Bruno Ferreira hits like a truck. So, yeah, Bruno Ferreira, I think he probably gets Jackson McVey out of there early. But he is a massive favorite. Massive favorite. Minus 600, which makes him the second biggest favorite on the card, right behind Daniel Zellhuber, who's now minus 800. We got Moneyliner. I'm a sponsor. Yes, sir. Shout out to Moneyliner for sponsoring the show. Appreciate you, Moneyliner. Good to see you in here. McVey all day. I don't know. He's a big dog. Big dog. Plus 425. McVey round 1 is kind of where I think if he does get it done, it's probably in the first couple minutes. McVey round 1, you can get as good as plus 1,000. Those could be, interesting shots to take on the McVey side if you do think he's going to get the win. Baby Bruno getting slept. Maybe. He's been slept before. Hopefully Herzog isn't. If he's reffing this fight, we might see the first death in the UFC octagon. If Herzog's reffing a fight like this, we might see the first death ever. So hopefully Herzog's nowhere near this fight. How about their toughness? Yeah, we don't really know. Like, Jackson McVey's fought absolutely nobody, and Bruno Ferreira has been knocked out before. So maybe Jackson McVey is tough, but being tough only goes so far. If Bruno Ferreira lands one of these big shots, I'm not sure he's gonna eat it. KO1 plus 1,400. Both are tough. Neither is chinny. Bruno Ferreira might be a little chinny, but I don't know. First time in years I haven't bet on a card. Had to give up the punt. Thanks for all the tips over the years, Brady. Reiki, you're passing on this card. This is not the card to pass. One last ride. One last ride. This is a good card in my opinion. But yeah, enjoy the fights. Nothing's wrong with passing on the bets and just sitting back and watching the fights. Nothing's wrong with that. So enjoy the fights. Ankle monitor Dumas is a different animal. Yeah, it's something, man. I couldn't believe it. He posted on his Instagram training footage of him with an ankle monitor on. I couldn't believe my eyes, but it happened. All right. Up next, we have Ryan Spann going against Lucas Brzeski. So this was one that I really wanted to see the weigh-ins for. I went back and I looked at Ryan Spann's last weigh-in versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. I took a screenshot. And then I went and watched the weigh-ins for the Brzeski fight. I took a screenshot. I put them side by side. And what I noticed was Ryan Spann looks to have actually trained for this fight. He looks to have actually trained. He looks ready to go. He pretty much looks just a lot better than he did against the Waldo fight. He looked like he just got off the couch. So he looked a lot better in shape. Seems to be taking this fight somewhat serious. And that's what we need here. For Ryan Spann, we need to take he doesn't need to take it all the way serious because we know he doesn't. We know Ryan Spann's not taking it 100% serious. We need him to take it like 50% serious. And if he does that, that should be enough to beat Lucas Brzeski here. You don't lay minus 250 on Ryan Spann. What you do is you bet his round 1 prop. You can bet the round 1 or round 2 prop. You can bet the Ryan Spann under 1.5 same game parlay. And you can get plus money, I believe, on all of those. So that's kind of how I'm playing it. Ryan Spann in the under 1.5, plus 130. Because if this fight does go over 7.5 minutes, it's going to get greasy. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get disgusting. And who knows what's going to happen after that. So, yeah, Ryan Spann, there's no excuse for losing this fight if you're Ryan Spann. If you lose to Lucas Brzeski, it's time to take off your gloves, put him in the center of the octagon, and just leave and never come back. Because if you lose to Lucas Brzeski, that is, he should go to jail. If you lose to Lucas Brzeski, you should go to prison, losing to a guy like this. So, yeah, Spann should get it done, but it is Ryan Spann, and Ryan Spann is very untrustworthy. So we'll get it done. But Ryan Spann should beat this guy. McVey looked huge. Yeah, he did. He looked a couple weight classes bigger than Ferreira. Can of spam. Hopefully he doesn't look like a can of spam out there. Anyone know if Ryan Spann actually trained for this fight? To me, it looks like he did somewhat train, at least compared to last time. We got Trappy Gilmore, first time catching a stream. What's good, Brady? What's up? Good to see you. Looking forward to these fights, man. Looking forward to these fights. Spann looked, yeah, that's what people aren't talking about enough. Like, Spann had like a six-pack, and Brzeski, I don't even know what he looked like. Like, it looked like an alien up there, like something I've never seen. I've never seen that body shape before. I don't know how to explain Lucas Brzeski's. It's a body shape of somebody that took a lot of steroids and doesn't take them anymore type thing. It just was really, really awkward body style of Brzeski. Brzeski might get knocked out by Brzeski's shinny too. I mean, Brzeski getting knocked out by Mick Parkin, who's not finishing anybody ever. And who else knocked Kennedy? And Zachuku knocked him out in the first round. Can Ryan Spann be trusted? No, he can't be. He cannot be. Ryan Spann had the daddest of bods on the scale, a healthy hoop of chub. Yeah, a little six-pack under there. You looked better than last time. Spann inside the distance, plus 110. What do you think? I think that's a lot better than laying minus 250. If you have to bet on Ryan Spann, which I did, if you have to bet on him, you take him inside the distance, because if it goes out of the first round, it's going to get bad. Yeah, like a tube sock. Yeah, like a bag of milk. Yeah. What happened to the penis trauma? He's in here. He's in here somewhere. Brzeski's built like melted. Yeah, melted ice cream. It's bad. What's up, Gamble Sign? Good to see you in here. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have my main event. My night comes down to Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute. Big bet on Jimmy Crute here. Did beat some line movement, which, doesn't really mean anything ever. If anything, it's a bad thing, but hopefully it's not a bad thing here. He's taking on Marcin Prachnio, and for Jimmy Crute to lose this fight, he's going to have to really screw up. He's going to have to pull a William Knight, just going out there and doing nothing. But if Jimmy Crute, wants to win and wants to take his career serious, he should win this fight. I mean, there's multiple paths here for Crute. Like, even if he fights dumb, which is on the table, say he fights dumb, right? And he doesn't wrestle when he has an astronomical grappling advantage. Even if he does strike with Prachnio, he could still knock out Prachnio. Jimmy Crute has a ton of power in his hands. Prachnio is very chinny. And then, we could talk about the terrible cardio of Jimmy Crute, but guess whose cardio is even worse? The guy he's fighting, Marcin Prachnio. Marcin Prachnio's mouth is wide open in the very first round of fights. So I think Crute's a lot more durable. And Crute is durable. Yes, he's been knocked out by Jamal Hill, but, Jamal Hill hits hard. And that was Jamal Hill in his prime before he turned really bad. I think Crute's more dangerous, more durable. For the first time ever, he's going to have the better cardio here. He has an astronomical grappling advantage, and that's what I would like him to do here is take down Prachnio, who's got submitted by Modestas Bukauskas with a head and arm choke on the wrong side. So yeah, Crute should win this fight, but it's an IQ test, right? Like, if Crute really have to mess this up to lose this one. So aiming for Crute to get the job done. I don't mind the Crute finish props. The Crute finish prop opened up at minus 110. I thought that was pretty ridiculous. Money has came in on the fight doesn't go to decision throughout the week on the unders, which rightfully so. Those, the fight doesn't go opened up at minus 140. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But yeah, Crute should roll and should get it done by however he wants. He could knock out Prachnio. He could submit Prachnio, and he could, take Prachnio to a decision. But I think it's a finish more often than not. Impression of John Jones watching Connor lift weight. I don't do the impression thing. I don't do that. We got DFS on. What's up, gangster? Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you, my guy. Best of luck on the fights tonight. I'm all over Crute, but minus 350 is terrifying. And yeah, it is. But I would argue like it could be wider. Because how does Crute lose this fight? The answer to that is pulling a William Knight. Pulling a Melissa Mullins. but from the sounds of it, it sounds like he's gonna wrestle. I'm taking McVey to pull off the upset. I don't mind it, especially that first round prop. Play the draw. Yes, the Jimmy Crute's been to draw, and that's why I kind of like the money line. And if it does go tits up, and Jimmy Crute decides, hey, I'm not going to wrestle for some reason, yeah, it's probably a draw, right? And I get my money back. So that's kind of why I like the money line. Where do they have the draw price? Because usually you'll see it at plus 6,600, but I don't know if they've changed it for this fight. 60. It's still 6,600, even though he has been to draw in 2 of his last 5 fights. Do the impression? I don't know how to do a John Jones impression. I don't know. Brady only smokes top shelf. Yeah, I guess. The new Pula William Knight is Pula Michelle Ferreira. Michelle Ferreira showed up to the fight drunk. I've never seen anything like that. Never seen anything like that at all. When are you going to start doing fight companions? Pretty soon here. So I'm going. Today's been a hectic day, and I have a lot of stuff going on tonight. So not tonight. And I'm going to Chicago in August for the 319 pay-per-view. So probably after that, because after Chicago, I don't think I'm going anywhere the rest of the year. So I'd say after that, sometime in August, unless something frees up, in the next couple weeks. All right. Islam Dulatov going against Adam Fugitt. And yeah, I like Dulatov here. I think he finishes his fight pretty early. And this is probably the biggest car crash on a card full of car crashes. Islam Dulatov fights like an absolute wild man. He wants to go in there, get in, get out type thing. So I think the under 1.5 is a good look. And money is coming in on the over. It was minus 200. It's now minus 160. I think that's a very, very solid price tag for the. If you guys have seen Islam Dulatov fight, and even like Adam Fugitt's a guy that will go in there and bang as well. So Dulatov's going to bring a very hectic, a very wild pace, and Adam Fugitt's going to oblige. I think this is going to be just an absolute war for as long as it lasts, and I don't think it lasts too long. Yeah, and a lot of these lines are really wide. Like, I wouldn't be laying minus 600 on Bruno Ferreira. I wouldn't be laying minus 600 on Islam Dulatov. Like, what happens if this fight gets to the second round? If this fight gets to the second round, and you have a minus 600 ticket on Islam Dulatov, a guy that, as far as I'm concerned, hasn't won a fight outside of the first round, it could get very sketchy, but I'm pretty sure this fight's going to finish and going to finish early. So I like the under here, and I think somebody's getting served as long as Jason Herzog's not reffing the fight. If Jason Herzog's reffing the fight, we could see it go over, but as long as Herzog's not there reffing the fight and far away from this one, it should finish under. Yeah, if you lose to Lucas Brzeski, I mean, you should probably couple years in prison, maybe some probation. If you lose to Marcin Prachnio, I mean, you should be like, if you lose to Marcin Prachnio, I don't know. It just shouldn't happen. It's hard to beat a guy 3 times. To give me Holloway for the spoiler. Yeah, there hasn't really been a ton of there's been a couple trilogies in the UFC. There hasn't really been a ton of them. Let's see. All right. Don't be their dancing monkey guru will do Pressons for them. That's not true. My older brother beat me up hundreds of times. Let's see. Top 3 highest owned on DK. Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. I think they're both going to be very high owned. And I also think that Holland should have a lot of ownership up top. Yeah, I'd say those would be my top 3. Holland, Holloway, and Poirier. I think that Poirier, Holloway ownership is going to be pretty split, to be honest. Slightly in Holloway there. What else? Yeah, other than that, not much sticking out. There's a lot of great plays up top, so I think that up top range will be pretty split out, evened out. Let's see. Hey, I'm pretty confirmed on my picks, but can't gauge the Oliveira fight. Is Kyler good? This line should be wider. Yeah, we'll talk about that fight very shortly here. That's probably one of the more intriguing, if not the most intriguing fight from a betting perspective today. All right, moving on to the next fight, we have Gautier going against Robert Valentin. And yeah, looks like a lot of money. Jeez, came in on Robert Valentin. Valentin went from plus 426 to plus 315. So this line has moved a whole $1 on fight day. Gautier was sitting as wide as minus 650 and currently a minus 415 favorite. So this Valentin line has moved, and it has moved a ton. Another fight where I think the under's pretty solid here, because the thing about Valentin is we haven't really got to see, what Valentin's all about yet. He faced Loader in the first fight we saw him in the UFC, and he got taken down, and he did almost get a submission and ended up on his back in the second round and got TKO'd. But that fight was on the feet for what? Not long at all. And against Torres Finney, Torres Finney humped him for 15 minutes. So we haven't got to see Robert Valentin. Robert Valentin's a very fun fighter, a very exciting striker. And that's kind of why I wish they would have given Valentin a more favorable matchup here. But yeah, Gautier, this guy's massive. He hits like a truck. I think these two are going to swing it out. And Valentin, if he can get this fight down to the ground, like Valentin is a very tricky submission game. But if not, these guys are going to both land on each other, land hard, and I think Gautier probably gets the knockout. But yeah, money is coming in on Valentin. I like the under a lot more than the minus 415 money line. Because yeah, if Valentin has plenty of early finishes in his own right. He has submission upside. He has knockout upside. And Gautier hits like an absolute truck. So yeah, I like violence here as well, as long as Jason Herzog's not reffing this fight. Stacking main event makes sense, especially for cash. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Wow, I just got Valentin plus 410 last night. Yeah, you beat the line quite a bit. Plus 315 now. That line has came in a lot. Picking between Ige and Oliveira, 86 and 85 is my dilemma. Oliveira scores a little bit better, but I'm more confident in Ige. I'm kind of the same way. I'm definitely more confident in Ige to get the win outright. So I would go Ige, but Oliveira could also score well on a win. Yeah, but I like Ige a little bit more. We got Mike Rowe Cock with the $2 donut. Appreciate you saying great reads. You beat off the bookies tonight. I hope so. Hopefully it's a good night. Appreciate you, Mike Rocock. Appreciate you. Don't stop at the bookies. Let's beat off everybody. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I don't know about that. Valentin round 2, round 3 props are insane. Yeah, they are. They're pretty big prices, and they will be live if the fight does reach round 2, round 3. What are they? Yeah, round 2, 18-1. Round 3, you can get 25-1. Valentin round 2, round 3. They will be live if it does get extended. But I'm not sure it does. Nicole Cagliari signed me up. Not for me, but hey, it's WMMA and anything can happen. Come on, Robert. Olajuwon on Robert. Yeah, he's a big dog. And yes, he did win. He did win the ceremony weigh-ins. That was awesome. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Francisco Prado going against Nikolai Veretennikov. I took a shot on Veretennikov plus 130. The line kind of stayed there all day until today, or all week until today. And money has came in on Veretennikov. Yeah, I just think it's a close fight. Like Veretennikov, he's gonna have a big height advantage, a big reach advantage. I'm just not sure what Prado's that good at outside of being tough. He can't wrestle. He's at the wrong weight class. This dude's not a welterweight. I don't get what he's doing here. And as long as Veretennikov's not getting grappled, he's a good striker. He's a very high level striker. But yeah, I do expect this to be competitive. Yeah, Veretennikov, as long as he's able to stay on his feet here, which I think he will be. I think he can get the better of the striking exchanges in this one. So, yeah, I lean Veretennikov. I think he's a very live dog. And money has came in on him today. Outside of no props really sticking out. It's just Veretennikov for me in a fight that I think it'll be close. But, yeah, plus 130 made no sense to me. I just don't think Prado's that good, to be honest. I know he's young. He's like 23. He could be getting better, but I just haven't seen anything yet. Knocking out his Aitar just doesn't really tell me anything. So, yeah, Veretennikov for me in this one. Let's go Carly inside the distance. TKO. That's kind of where I'm leaning as a little sprinkle. Prado Veretennikov fight doesn't go to decision, plus 120 for me. Yeah, I don't bet Prado finish props anymore. I mean, his finishing ability just hasn't translated. And in terms of finishing him, it's probably not going to happen. So I kind of think it goes to distance. I know Prado has a 100% finish rate. And yeah, maybe if he does win, that stays intact. But I'm just not sure if he's a finisher at this level unless he is facing like an Ottman Zaitar. All right, let's keep moving on. We have Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori. We have Brendan Allen is minus 190. Marvin Vettori is plus 165. I'm actually looking forward to this fight quite a bit. These guys don't like each other at all. And it should make for a pretty fun fight. Brendan Allen is a guy we can add to the list of guys that are just completely untrustworthy. I mean, when we're talking about bad fight IQ, you got guys like Jimmy Crute, Ryan Spann, Kevin Holland. Brendan Allen's right up there with those guys, right? And yeah, I think it's going to be another competitive fight. Like, I don't really see Brendan Allen out grappling Marvin Vettori. Nobody's ever been able to do that. And then in terms of the striking, it's like Vettori's very hittable, but Allen's even more hittable. Allen has a 45% strike and defense. I think Vettori's more durable. I think Vettori has the better cardio. But Vettori did look like absolute crap in his last fight against Dolidze, but he was coming off of a massive layoff, coming off of a surgery. He did say that he wasn't really even ready to fight, and it looked like that. He didn't look ready. So Vettori looks a lot more ready this time around. And if that's the case, if he is coming in here 100% ready to go, I think it's going to be a very competitive fight here, and should be a fun one. And I'm interested to see how both these guys attack this matchup here, because they do hate each other. Like, are they going to swing dicks here, or are they going to, I don't know what's going to happen, but finally looking forward to seeing them kind of squash the beef in this one. What's the line on whether or not Vettori can read? I don't know if either one of these guys can read, to be honest. Allen or Vettori, I don't think either one of them can read. But yeah, I think Vettori's another very live dog here. I think Vettori's a very, very live dog. Plus 165. I just don't see where Allen's minus 200 against Vettori really anywhere. He has a better animal hat. Like, if we're talking animal hats, I mean, Allen has a great, is it a raccoon hat that he wears? But outside of that, I just don't really see where Allen's that much better. We got Cody MMA. What is up, Cody? Good to see you. Best of luck to you as well tonight. Why you guys bet on this crap? What? With all the judging and wild inconsistency of fighters, y'all should just watch the fights as a fan and put your money in Bitcoin. It's fun to bet on the fights. It's fun. Makes it more exciting. So I kind of think that's why. But yeah, like you're saying, nothing's wrong with just watching the fights. Crazy that Prado and Kevin Holland are in the same weight class. Yeah, that is actually very crazy. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's not right. Makes watching so much more enjoyable and stress-free. Yeah, definitely stress-free. I'll give you that. Marvin was acting spicy in the face-offs. He was, man. Marvin does not like Allen, and Allen does not like Marvin Vettori. All right, let's keep moving on. We have about 20 minutes before these fights kick off. We have the people's main event, Vinicius Oliveira going against Kyler Phillips, the fight where a lot of people are very confident in one side. And I've said it all week. Like, a lot of people are very, very confident in Vinicius Oliveira. People are saying this line should be a lot wider. I've seen people say Oliveira is a lock. Oliveira is easy money. And the line keeps shrinking and shrinking and getting closer and getting closer. A lot of sharp people are on the Kyler Phillips side here. So, yeah, and I was almost one of those people on Kyler Phillips. I was looking at it, like, I saw him at plus 163, I think it was, and I was looking at it. I was taking a hard look, ended up passing, and then a couple hours later it got obliterated, and I ended up passing because I just can't trust the cardio of Kyler Phillips. I think he's a phenomenal fighter, but he's a phenomenal fighter for the first 7.5 to maybe 10 minutes. So I think if this fight does go the distance, it's going to be close. It's going to be Kyler Phillips winning round 1. It's going to be Vinicius Oliveira winning round 3, and it's going to be coming up to, round 2. And then it's also going to come out to what the crooked blind corrupt judges think. So for me, I think I might look to live bet Oliveira, because I'm almost certain he's going to lose the first round. Like, Kyler Phillips, I don't think has ever lost a first round ever. Like this guy's, if fights were first rounds, I mean, Kyler Phillips would be, undefeated, would be like a top 5 fighter if fights were 5 minutes. The problem with Kyler Phillips is he doesn't have 15-minute cardio. He just literally doesn't. Not only the Rob Font fight, every fight, he's getting tired after the first 7.5, 10 minutes. So, yeah, I think Phillips, the early finish props on Phillips are massive. Oliveira's been finished in all 3 of his losses, all by knockout. I think a Phillips early finish could be in play. But if not, I think Oliveira, maybe a live bet, because I do think he'll be plus money after the first round is kind of how I'll look to attack it. But yeah, we'll see. It's definitely a tricky one. If Phillips had 3-round cardio, I'd be max betting him here. But the fact of the matter is he just doesn't. He just doesn't have 3-round cardio. Oliveira is a lock. Come on, guys. First of all, nothing's a lock in UFC ever. Don't get fooled. This dude Phillips lost to Paiva. Yeah, that fight probably should have been stopped, though. I wonder if Herzog was reffing that one. That Paiva fight back in the day. Kyler beat the brake, and that should have been a 10-8 round at least. Kyler decision, no bet would be a great bet. I like that. I like that one. Phillips doesn't like being marched down. Oliveira likes to do that. Yep. Yeah, Phillips doesn't want to be marched down. He wants that space. He wants that room to move. Marvin will be in top form. I hope so. Who do you like in the Pitbull Ige fight? I like Ige. All right. Let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Daniel Zellhuber going against Michael Johnson. Zellhuber is now minus 800, making him the biggest favorite on the card. Michael Johnson is plus 550. And yeah, I like Zellhuber here. I actually parlayed Zellhuber back when he was like minus 400, 500. Now he's minus 800. So I have him in a parlay. And then I also took a shot on Zellhuber inside the distance just because Johnson, he has been finished 13 times. And I went back and watched Zellhuber's last couple fights, and it's like, I'm not sure Michael Johnson at 39 years old is, surviving the same shots that Esteban Ribovics did, who's extremely tough. Prado is extremely tough and durable. Even Lando Venata, like that Venata fight, Herzog was reffing it. Herzog probably could have stopped that one. I mean, eating 50 unanswered shots is not intelligently defending yourself. So, yeah, I think Zellhuber's live for a finish. I think if it does come, it's going to be late. Maybe Johnson can compete a little bit early, but yeah, Zellhuber much younger, longer, in his prime, getting better. Whereas Johnson, 39 years old, Zellhuber should get the job. I'd be pretty shocked if Johnson won this fight. Am I the only one putting a sprinkle on Johnson by KO? Ribovics had this dude rocked bad. Yeah, he did. Ribovics had Zellhuber running across the cage doing the stanky legs. So, yeah, Johnson does have power. He does have power. What is Johnson KO? But it's going to be so hard to KO Zellhuber, Yeah, plus 1,100 for that, for the Johnson KO. It's going to be hard to KO Zellhuber. Maybe Johnson can hurt him, maybe. But it's just hard for me to envision that happening personally. But it's a wide line for a reason. All right, let's keep moving on. We have about 12 minutes, doing decent on time. Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull. I have a bet on Dan, pretty big bet on Dan Ige. Not as big as a bet on Crute, but yeah, 2.5 units on Ige, and then also the knockout prop. And I got his money line at minus 160. He's now minus 210. And yeah, I mean, I think this should be Ige just because, Patricio Pitbull, this fight was a couple years ago. 2021, 2022. I think these odds would and should be flipped. But the fact of the matter is this is not Pitbull of a couple years ago. This is a 38-year-old Pitbull in the featherweight division who's undersized for the division, who's undersized in this matchup. Dan Ige, for the first time probably ever, has a size advantage here. And it's like, yeah, the Yair fight was a horrible look, right? It was a terrible look. It was awful. But go back and watch the fights before that. It's like he's throwing nothing. He's getting hurt. He's not wrestling. Like, I haven't seen Pitbull wrestle in years. So for me to think he's all of a sudden going to start wrestling when he hasn't shown that in a very long time, I just don't see it. If it happens, it happens, but I just haven't seen it. The durability. I mean, Dan Ige has a massive durability advantage. Ige's younger. Ige hits very hard. And I think Ige is going to be the higher volume striker just because Patricio Pitbull is just not throwing anything. So, yeah, I like Ige here. I mean, this really should be a fight that Ige should win, unless Patricio Pitbull can turn back the clock a couple years. But I just don't see that happening personally. So I like Ige a decent amount, unless Patricio Pitbull does come out here and wrestle. That's kind of one thing I am worried about a little bit, but I just haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it in a very long time. Ige's hotter. Oh gosh, no comment on that. Who allowed this puss in the chat? Who's the puss? Who's the puss? I don't know. We got Anthony Hernandez saying, I'm in the stadium right now. It's going to be electric. It is going to be electric. I can't wait for this. Card. Why are you so confident in Crute? I mean, I can talk 10 minutes about why I'm confident in Crute. I mean, I did talk about it, but basically, Crute really shouldn't lose the fight. He has an astronomical advantage on the ground. On the feet, he could knock out Prachnio. I think Crute's more durable. I think Crute is going to have a very rare cardio advantage. I mean, Marcin Prachnio is gassing out in round 1. And yeah, if Crute gets the fight down to the mat or wrestles, should make it look pretty easy. The only way he loses is if he pulls a William Knight or a Michel Pereira and shows up drunk to the fight. But as far as I'm concerned, he's sober now. All right, Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. I have Kevin Holland in 2 different parlays, and I also have Kevin Holland inside the distance. So a lot of my night is coming down to Jimmy Crute and Kevin Holland. If Kevin Holland loses this fight, it will be pretty bad. So yeah, but I'd be surprised if Kevin Holland lost to Daniel Rodriguez. He's now minus 625. Yeah, I think he can win by any method. It could be a knockout. Could be a submission. I hope it's not a decision, but it could be a decision. D-Rod has just not looked the same in a while. It's been a while since D-Rod's looked like himself. I mean, ever since the Leach fight, I thought he looked a little bit off there. And since then, it just keeps on getting worse and worse. He keeps getting older and older. I don't think he has that same durability. Definitely doesn't have that same cardio. And I think Kevin Holland's going to hit him here. He's going to hit him very hard. He's going to hurt him. And he's either going to knock him out or he's going to submit him. And I don't say this too often. If Kevin Holland loses this fight, it's rigged. It's a thrown fight. If Kevin Holland loses this fight, he got paid off to lose. It'd be one of those situations where there's no way. Like there's no way, D-Rod should be winning this fight. So if Holland loses, I'm almost guaranteeing that Holland took a big check like Michel Pereira did a couple months back and doesn't fight or pulls a William Knight or for Kevin Holland to lose this fight, something would have to go terribly wrong. I just can't envision what a Kevin Holland loss looks like here. I mean, how does Kevin Holland lose? Guys taking him down, middleweights taking him down, and D-Rod is not a middleweight, and D-Rod is not going to take him down. So it's like Kevin Holland should absolutely win, but we'll see what happens. I have Holland anchored in lots of different plays. Yeah, my guy Clint from the Die Hard MMA podcast, he has Holland anchored. I think it was like 20 some units on Holland. He has a lot riding on Holland, but I mean, like I said, Holland shouldn't lose this fight at all. Age isn't just a number in the lower weight classes. The lower the weight classes are, the more I'm worried about the guys up in the 39, 40-year-old range, right? Yeah, if you're at heavyweight, especially light heavyweight, middleweight, you can get away with being 40. But these lower weight classes, more often than not, you just can't. If Holland loses, it's a steakhouse bet. Yeah, if Holland loses, you bet your ass we're going to see him at the best steakhouse in Louisiana. We're going to see him out on a yacht. If Kevin Holland loses this fight, he threw it, and he either threw it, took a paycheck, bet on Daniel Rodriguez himself, told all his buddies to bet on D-Rod by decision. If Kevin Holland loses this fight, it was rigged. I'll say it right now. Holland in the over 1.5 rounds plus 110. What do you think, Brady? I wouldn't personally. I think he's going to destroy D-Rod, but it could be later. It could be attritional, but it looks like Kevin Holland's finally taking his career seriously. Like the old Kevin Holland, I'd say yes. Holland in the over 1.5 because he'd take his time. He would be talking to him. But this version of Kevin Holland, he might just finish D-Rod early. It would be my concern. Dana is paving the Holland comeback into the welterweight division with this matchup. Yeah, Kevin Holland's he's being smart. He's taking winnable fights. Is Zellhuber a safe money line? Yes and no. Yes, because he should win, but no, because he's minus 800 now. He's minus 800. So there's just no reason to add that in a parlay at this point. So, but yeah, he should win. I'm surprised people are betting on the Holland fight to go to a decision. Yeah, D-Rod is like tough, I guess, but I don't know. Holland should finish him. Yes, it is starting soon. A couple minutes here. Holland by finish on a parlay is a move. I would agree. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Roman Kopylov versus Paulo Costa. And this is a weird one. Like, this is a weird fight. Like, I wasn't convinced this was going to happen after seeing Paulo Costa on cocaine at the press conference. Like, that was weird. But he did show up. He made weight, and he looked fine doing it. So, yeah, this fight's going to happen. I wonder if Costa is going to be on cocaine during the fight, like Molly McCann was back in the day. But, yeah, it's an interesting fight. And I think a sneaky angle here is, I guess it's not so sneaky anymore. Money's poured in on the fight doesn't go, and plus 105 now. So both these guys are finishers. Both these guys hit hard. And I could see this fight going just a bunch of different ways. I could see it being like a Kopylov decision. I could see this being an absolute war that makes it to 15 minutes. I could see Kopylov breaking down Costa over the course of the fight and finishing him late with body kicks, head kicks. I could see Costa fighting smart for once in his career, mixing in takedowns, pressuring, and breaking Kopylov, who's been broken before and submitted by, Carl Roberson. So I can just see so many ways for this fight to play out. And typically when that's the case, I don't like betting on it. But yeah, I think the fight goes very sneaky. I think the fight to end in round 2 or round 3 is very sneaky. I wouldn't lay minus 220 on Kopylov. I do have to pick him to win. But if Costa shows up with a good game plan, like, he could absolutely beat Kopylov. It's just I haven't really seen the best stuff out of Costa in years, and then I just don't really think I can trust him at all to fight smart. But yeah, to beat Kopylov, you got to pressure, you got to wrestle. If you do those things, he's going to tire out, and he can finish him late. But my fear is Costa probably just strikes with him, and it probably ends poorly for him. So I like Kopylov, but I'm not laying minus 220. Let's see here. Paulo Costa said he wants to bring the old version back, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I was so dead on betting on Kopylov, but something smells fishy. Something does smell fishy. Something does smell fishy indeed, but we'll see. All right, then we'll quickly touch on the main event. Then we'll head out of here and watch Carly Giudice against Cagliari. Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. Holloway minus 135, Dustin Poirier plus 122. I have a ton of action on this card. This is a fight where I'm just going to sit back and watch. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it as a fan, because I do think there's very strong arguments to be had on both sides. A lot of people are going to be on Holloway, the younger guy, the guy that's, still has some left in the tank, the guy that's not retiring. People are going to be on Poirier. Poirier's up 2-0. Poirier is going to be in his hometown. Holloway's just coming off of a knockout loss against Poirier. How's his chin going to hold up? It's not a fight I have the best read on, so I'm fine with just passing and sitting back and watching as a fan. And really no props stick out. I would say the fight goes, but it would be the ultimate sweat. I mean, these guys are going to stand and bang for 25 minutes, but that's kind of what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a 25-minute stand and bang war. One of the best fights of all time, probably, to send Dustin Poirier off into retirement. So, yeah, nothing would surprise me here. In this one, it sucks to pick against either one of these guys, but we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it so much. I'm leaning Holloway, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't really concerned about his chin after it getting cracked for the first time in his last fight, and I would be concerned about it being in Poirier's hometown as well. If this fight is close, it probably does go to Poirier. So, yeah, it's a tough fight to call. Very tough fight to call. Costa will break Kopylov like Kopylov's broken nose. Yeah, that nose is brutal, man. Best of luck to you, Blom Dog. Best of luck to you. I like DP in the distance, no decision, -150. Never bet on a fighter who enters the fight knowing they are retiring. Yeah. Could be good, could be bad. But looks like Dustin Poirier is taking this fight very seriously. And Dustin Poirier seems to be in the best shape of his career, probably. One time I stood and banged for 25 minutes with Jessica Andrade. What? I think we'll get to see Andrade next week. No, we'll get to see her at 319, I think, against Lupe Godinez. Yeah, that'll be 319. I'll get to watch her. Hopefully I run into her in Chicago. Got to work on my Portuguese. All right, we did it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Had a good crowd. If you guys could do me a favor, like on your way out, subscribe. Would mean a lot. I'll be back tonight with a recap. And we'll be back tomorrow, Sunday. Stat Diggers, me and Uncle Weezy breaking down UFC, Abu Dhabi. These fights are about to kick off. Enjoy them, and best of luck. We'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.